Well, Mr. Abu Sharekh, this goes back to what you were discussing there, the political pressure in which this is trying to build, one would assume, onto not only Hamas, the political group inside Gaza, but also on the people. You're saying that this is an attempt to put pressure onto the Gaza Strip, one would assume, to get back to the negotiating table or to surrender. What is the end goal of this pressure that you're talking about?
I think all of this, because there is, Israel is there and America is there, and they put pressure on the Arab regimes and on the Palestinian National Authority. And because here, the people in Gaza, of course, wouldn't like to succumb their rights. They stick to their right of return. They stick to their own inalienable nation rights, that they do not recognize the occupation of our country, and they are against Israel's ethnic cleansing, and because Israel violates international law, and Israel does not recognize our own rights, and Israel so far claims that Israel wants peace, and on the ground all they are doing is ethnic cleansing, imprisoning us, imposing this hermetic siege on the Palestinian people in Gaza, and in the same time they are ravaging through the West Bank. So they want us
I just wanted to come in here and ask you, if I may, just on the walls that you're talking about, because we should put in the other side of the story here as well. You're in Gaza, and the Israeli side says that these tunnels that are being built, in which Egypt is now blocking through the steel wall, is being used to get arms into the Gaza Strip. So that's the other side of the story that's not being mentioned here.
No, this is nothing could be further from the truth. The Palestinian people, of course, wanted to see the crossing opened 24 hours, and then if the sea is open, then there will be no need for the tunnels. But because this Rafah crossing point is closed, so the Palestinian people are forced or managed to find a way in order to get food, medicine for the children, food for the people, to get necessary commodities for the Palestinian people. And there are no arms, no nothing smuggled through these tunnels. And in this first time, I think the Palestinians should not, and we are not, of course, smuggling arms. We want the Arab countries to come to support us and to give us arms and to open their borders, to support us financially and materially, and to side with us against Israel. This is their own duty. This is their own right, because we are one Arab nation. Israel is the enemy of Egypt in as much as it is the enemy of the Palestinians. So this is the rumor which is being circulated by Israel. These are rumor mongers, which they claim that these tunnels are used to smuggle weapons and to smuggle arms and other things. But I don't think so. We do not smuggle anything except food and medicine for our children.
Ms. Hunter, I can see you wanted to come in there, but please do respond, and just add this question onto your response as well. When it comes to the United States, you've both dropped their role into this as well. How can we see what's going on underlying? We're talking about the steel wall, where we just had news today that Germany's selling ships over to Israel. There does seem to be some dual strategy going on, because of course there is all this talk about putting pressure on Israel, going back to the negotiating table and the stalled peace process, and it seems that what you both are talking about is a current that's going on underneath as well. So what is the final objective?
Well, I think the final objective of the US and Israel is to force the Palestinians to accept a resolution which would keep them as subjugated peoples, basically in Bantustans, with Israel continuing to basically control their lives. The point I would like to make, however, is that senior people in the United Nations, the rapporteur, Richard Falk, in December, repeated the same points that his predecessor, John Dugard, made, that world leaders have been ignoring the Palestinian cause. They have used fine words, but they have done nothing. And words are not enough. And what these people have said is that it's the actions of people of conscience all over the world that will actually put pressure to make Israel see that it can't go on violating international law in the way it is. These actions, the ending of the breaking of the siege by the convoy and the march that was attempted from Cairo to commemorate the horrific war last year, the boycott campaign against Israeli goods and divestment and sanctions, these are the ways that are being pointed to by the activists, but also by leaders like these UN spokespersons who feel themselves despair and hopelessness because there is no political will. Even President Obama, who gave out some hope when he said that settlements had to be stopped, has stopped speaking about the issue because, in fact, in the days after he first mentioned the freeze on settlements, Netanyahu immediately announced more building, and this is going on and on and on, and we can see Jerusalem being destroyed by the Israelis, taken over, people evicted from their homes and so on, and the old city violated by Israel. So we have to take action, and it's these actions, the ending, the breaking of the siege by the convoy, the boycott activity which is growing all over the world. World church leaders are saying this kind of action can be taken by individuals, by groups, and we hope it will finally be taken by states and the United Nations to make Israel actually face up to its international responsibility to stop breaking international law and to allow the Palestinians to have their national rights, their refugee rights, and so on. They must have self-determination.
Thank you very much for your comments there, General Secretary of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Betty Hunter, joining us from London. And also to Professor of Al-Azhar University, Assad Abu Sharekh, joining us there from Gaza. Many thanks to you both.